yesterday, and it felt about as high as what Tony G stack must feel to Dykhoff, looking across at it.
Not easy to topple. Look at this. Tony is talking right into Dykhoff. He's got an ace. He has to raise.
A raise. 15,000.
You know, if his chip position wasn't advantage enough, now he's trying to win the psychological warfare as well.
He said raise 15.
Tony G with the hooks, pocket jacks.
Total.
There's a question here right now, Kenna, about whether or not Dykhoff was saying raise of or raise to, and but with the jacks, it may be completely immaterial.
It may be, because I think Dykhoff is going to call here with ace high. If he does not call here, even though it would be a great fold, and he does.
Wow.
Okay, now this is very interesting, because Dykhoff, you know.
You got a hand.
Oh, he read Tony G. He read something in.
Did.
Huh?
This kid's got some play in him.
He sure does. Reading your opponents is such a key to this game, and Dykhoff just read Tony G perfectly. It's kind of like in the movie Rounders, right, where he looks over and he says, "You want the cookie?" Right?
It's great to see a second dimension brought out of a player.
That's right. He's seen him open the cookie.
That is gonna shake Tony G's confidence a lot. He thought he was nailed on to get that money on.
He sure did. He sure did. Although it's hard to erode somebody's confidence when they have the parapets.
Yeah, I may have been a little strong there.
Not great, it just does well. So really nice like return on investment. All three I had.
Very difficult position that Kevin Dykster's in. You know,
That's me?
Dykhoff rather, not Dykster.
What did you have?
Dykhoff.
King's three.
Kings 3, yeah.
You know, I feel for the kid because I've been in this position and it is no
I want to
fun.
make sure I have the best hand.
I think he's handled himself very well. I mean, early on, you know, when they were 6, 5, and 4-handed, Dykhoff did make a couple moves, a couple plays.
Quite good poker.
But it's just slipped away so quick.
The worst hand is folded all the time.
All in.
All in.
Dykhoff chips in first. Quick call from Tony
Ace high
G.
this time.
He's got the queen beat.
What's that?
But this is not a terrible spot for Dykhoff to be in.
Nope,
It's not
3-2,
Okay, that's
you know, and if he
Doubles.
doubles up here, maybe he'll gain some confidence and start
That's it.
moving his chips around.
It's too short, sick.
Oh, you got to play that. That's a nice hand.
Tony G once
Long as the ace
again
doesn't-
encouraging his opponent so that when he goes away, he's just not totally shattered.
Still fine.
There's
Back
90,000 out there, but G has a pair. Dykhoff needs a queen or 7, or this one's
Get another
over.
pair. I'll be back.
Looking for a queen or a 7 on the turn. It's a
There you go,
jack.
look at that.
2 spades
Ooh,
on
that-
board.
yeah, he
Much
does
more
pick
odds.
up the flush draw
You
there,
got odds now.
Jesse. So now a spade, a queen, or a 7 will let him survive and double up as we go to the river.
He's no worse than 2 to 1 against. 1 card to decide that fickle fate.
Oops. Sorry.
And Tony G's the champion. He's
was
through
one
to the
down to the wire.
semifinals, Kenna.
With the saying,
I think you'll do really
oops.
well. You'll do really well.
I couldn't have said it better
time is-
myself.
Tony G telling Kevin Dykhoff he did very well for his first time playing on TV.
After that,
I
we
think
can
he's
have a
right.
drink.
It was a nice performance by
can't
Dykhoff,
beat
but he just ran into a buzzsaw here.
Bye.
He sure did, and that buzzsaw is named Tony G. And Tony G, you know, a class act, a gentleman, you know, and he won with grace.
What an exhibition of Texas Hold'em from Tony G tonight. On paper, this table looked like a tough proposition, but for Tony G, it looked like a walk in the park, and he never even paused for breath. He's our second player into the semi-finals.
Our winner, Tony G, dominating fierce Tony. Some days you make it look so easy. What's your secret?
There's no secret. I was playing a couple of days ago and I couldn't get a hand together. You know, it's like just luck. You know, just good cards, good situations.
Is that what the marks on your face are for being hit by the deck?
Yeah. You're sorry. No, just kidding.
No, you have all my respect, you know, but the key hand had to be when you had the king 10 against the ace queen. Now, I have to ask you, what were you thinking, okay, when you raised it and you got re-raised by David and you decided to make the call with the king 10? Did you have a pre-plan when you made that call before the flop, or what were you trying to do with that hand?
Usually, if you sort of, when I play a big pot, I want to win that pot. David sort of got very aggressive, and I don't like it. I take it personally. I got offended by him a few times, and I let him keep those pots.
Right.
I just felt the timing was there this time. I'm going to make a stand.
Right. Sometimes you have to take a stand and draw a line in the sand, no matter what your hand is, and and mark your territory. I think you do that as well as anybody.
Yeah, it's either him. I mean, I saw he was getting very aggressive and very dangerous for me to handle him, and he got more and more chips. And I have to win the heat. So there's all extra risk I can take. The flop I had outs to the nuts.
Right.
Whenever in that situation, he quickly checked it. I don't hesitate there. I mean, I quickly bet it. Sometimes I can have 3 aces there. Or I can have. It's just the way I play.
Right. Well, in fairness to you, you quickly bet. When he had a hand as well, he threw the $10,000 chips in like they were chocolate chip cookies.
Well, I mean, when you got head up, Tony, obviously you were in a very dominating position, but it can slip away from there. What was your strategy? Just keep the pressure on.
Slipped away before, and I want to talk the guy into losing this match, and he's done really well. Wow. No risks. He slowly gave the chips away, and we had to play with one pot all in. He waited, and it worked out perfect. I mean, that situation was...
Wow. Yeah, you amputated him one limb at a time,
Well, the other players in the semis better watch out. Tony G is in the mix. Join us next week when Ian Fraser and Ken Leonard are on tap here at the PartyPoker.com World Open.
No one to play with? There's always PartyPoker.com where the world plays poker.